The ellipses, that will lead me to settings, which is what I'm going to kind of do a very brief overview of what some of these settings can mean. And so, toolbar alignment. That is something that would right-handed or left-handed probably is how you might want to use it. As you can see, it kind of goes, I like that on the left. Control bar, that's that. I actually do like it on the top. As you can see, I was kind of hitting things when I was doing it, but I wanted to leave it as a kind of the default. But I actually like to leave that there at the top. And so we'll do that from here on out. External screen mode, right? So how do you want the people, if you're projected to a monitor or a projector, if you're connected, how do you want them to view? So here, if it's mirrored, they're seeing exactly what you see, all the user interface and everything you have there. Second screen means they only see kind of what you're doing. They don't see all of the grid marks. They don't see the user interface. And so you could do that. I had this on because you were seeing my tapping. Display on-screen taps and gestures. That's especially good if you're giving a tutorial on how to use Explain Everything. You might not want it on if you're just trying to give a presentation or just make an animation and you're not trying to show all the magic. What I think is also good to know that there's some parental controls that you could essentially make it so the password is required and you can put a password in for that web browser when you're doing that. Let's go over to the editing. With the editing, you could choose kind of how you want the shape of your screen. So 3.4 is essentially an iPad. So especially if it's going from iPad to iPad to iPad. If you're going 16:9, it's more like an HD TV or a desktop. So depending on how you want to make your video type, that's what I would use. Offset laser pointer. So I had that on. So essentially when I'm using the laser pointer, it doesn't go exactly where my finger is because I want to be able to see it. It goes a little bit above. On-screen gestures, as it shows you, right? Overlay guides to show this area will be visible when exported and so cropped, right? I'll leave that there as it is. Hide video and audio object controls after a while. You can leave that on or not, whatever you want. Wrist guard, you can bring that on to just help yourself from hitting things. Like I said, I would normally just move mine to the top just to get that out of the way, and I'm usually good. How do you want to handle the drawings, right? We've talked about those things. Do you want to add shadow to all new objects, including your images, not just the shapes? You could add that on if you would like. The next one essentially is a time saver. Do you want to switch to your hand tool after a shape creation, knowing that once you create something, it just switches? When I was making those gas bubbles, I had to keep going back to shape. If I would have had that off, I could have just kept making shapes. So just knowing that that's something there as well. Let's go to export. Resolution, right? So you can choose how good of an image that you're bringing in there. Just know the bigger the resolution and as well as the bigger the quality, the longer it's going to take to essentially export. And so you want to think about that. So maybe you do want it to be as good as possible. So you're going to choose best and choose a high resolution. And then you can do that way. File format is what type of video do you want to go as. The MOV or the MP4 is similar. I would choose MP4. It's more universal for all types of products, not just Apple devices. Do you want to include audio? Now, do you want to include slides that you didn't record anything on? So essentially, if I didn't record something, it's just an image. Do I want that there? And you can choose how long that will be there if you want it there. How you want it. Documents exported. GIFs exported when you do it from the timeline. The recording. How do I want the camera when I'm recording from the app? When I'm recording from the app, what will the resolution be? As well as frames per second. The browser capture frequency is essentially when you're not using the browser actively. How often do you want it to capture that? When you're using it, it automatically captures it because you're clearly using it. But when it's on the side, cycling through something, how often will it capture? And there's obviously more as well here, including automatic zooming, I guess is really what it says. I like that as well. Then your integrations, right? This is how you set up your cloud storages that are available. Do you want those all there that way? So, here we are. We're done. That was a lot. Feel free to, again, go down and click to kind of find back the places I talked in, as well as feel free to share this with friends and give me feedback, and we can see what we can do. So hopefully you see how powerful this tool is. And I want to tell you, just have a great time exploring and creating and showing your knowledge with Explain Everything Whiteboard.